Hello, everybody. You're not here yet. That's okay. I'm going to wait a few minutes because I didn't plan this. This was all spontaneous. I got a set of new cards to encourage compassion, shift our perspective, and build connection. What do you think? The Rethink cards. I like that. So, yes, I just decided I wanted to go live. I thought it would be fun. I don't really have, I'd like to riff, and I invited Kathleen Lightworker to join me. I also invited Valerie, but I don't know if she'll get the email. So I'm going to send her the link, though, just in case. Okay, that's done. Hello, Maureen. Hi, Suzanne. Hi, Flowing. It's nice to see you, gals. How are you? It's good to see you. Hey. Yeah, I was just saying there was nobody here to hear me, but I was just saying I decided to just open up a live today and chat for a little while. I do have my mediums this afternoon with all of the folks, but hi, Catherine, and hello, Lauren. It's nice to see you guys. And Robin. Oh, wonderful. Thank you for coming by. We should have a cup of coffee together. What do you think? It's probably too late where you are. I don't know. It's still. Hi, Sharon. You want to come on with us? With me? I'm going to be working with Kathleen Lightworker. Hi, Karen. Hi, MK Karen. Hello. Hello, Flowing. Yeah. Oh, Tarot Stash? Yeah, no, Tarot Stash is here. Hi. How are you? Oh, thanks for coming by. Tarot Stash and I are doing a show tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I can't wait. Um, yeah. So anyway, I was just saying that I have 2 new decks of cards. Where's the one? I got this one. I've had them a while. I just never opened them. And it was The Messages from Spirit by John Holland. And they look really cool. Hi, Kaya. It's nice to see you. Yeah. And then I got this one called the Rethink deck, and it opens mindful conversations to encourage compassion, shift perspective, and build connection. And I thought that was kind of cool. So I was looking at them, and I thought, it'd be fun to share this with my peeps if they're around. So I hope everybody got through the full moon last night. Hi, Barbara. Thank you, Kaya. Oh, you're going to go take a motorcycle ride, Sharon. All right. No problem. Another day. Another day. This is all really spontaneous. So good, Gerald. I'm looking forward to spending time with you tomorrow. That's great, Gerald. Thanks. So, yeah, I just finished my classes with my kids. My students. They're not kids. Some of them are 40s. So, but I call them my kids. And I thought, why not jump on for a few minutes or whatever, how long it takes. And so I thought I would invite a couple of folks to join me. And Kathleen's coming on in a little while, so that would be fine. I want to thank everybody for your support. Is just wonderful. Thank you. So I have moved forward on the dream class, and it is on my community board. It tells you all about it. This is the book that we're going to use, because I always like to have a book with some information in it. The Alchemy of Your Dreams. And it talks about interpretation and lucid dreaming, which is part of the dreaming. Thank you, Flowing. And so we'll use this book, which is available probably everywhere on Amazon. And it's about $18, $24 in Canada, it says. But yeah, so I'm going to do it Tuesday afternoons. On the 8th, it will start on the 8th and end on the 29th. So there's 4 sessions. If you're interested at all, let me know. I'm pleased to have you. First one will probably be more about talking about how we can access the dreams and so on. And then we'll be analyzing some of your dreams. And hopefully you'll be able to do some analysis too, symbology and things like that. So I'm looking forward to it. I see that some of you have written on my um, my series I'm doing on the archetypes in the tarot. And boy, I'm having a lot of fun with that. It's helping me to germinate different ideas around it. But most of the time when I'm doing the tarot, like I say, when you're doing it, I know you interact with the cards. And that's the area that I have a little bit of difficulty. I can interact with the oracles, okay, but interacting with the tarot cards, I think it's an art. And there are some people that are just really good at it, and there are other people that know enough about it to do it. But I've seen some really awesome stuff come out of there, and I know a lot of people have studied it for a very long time. With me, it was wanting to utilize it in my humanities classes that I took. And so I did a lot of analysis on it from a symbolic and archetypal view. But it was real academic, which is fine. But, I wanted to have fun with it too. So good. I'm glad you're enjoying it. So I am going to pull one of these cards and let's see what we can do here today. These are the Rethink cards. These are conversation starters. And let's see if we can find something that everybody wants to talk about. Oh, I love this. When you have to call somebody and tell them something on the telephone, and you're not real comfortable about it, let's say. I don't think it's like just calling somebody to say hello. Hi, Butterfly Kisses. Hi, Barbara Odom, Donna. It's good to see you guys. So before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say and why? Do you ever rehearse what you're going to say when you make a telephone call? I have, but I think it's more when it's a confrontational call, and I use that word, sort of in quotes, confrontational. In other words, there's something that you have to relay, and you may be having a problem with the person that you're communicating with. And so it seems to be at the point where it's a bit confrontational, and I want to make sure I'm saying the right thing, because we open our mouths sometimes and out pops stuff that maybe and I don't even mean mean stuff. I just mean, let's put it this way. I wasn't on the telephone, but at one point in my life, I've been a tax preparer for 30 years. So I've done that as a side job. And I had to deal with the guy at the IRS. He was auditing my return, and he was a nasty SOB. Anyway, there was a question he asked, and I answered it. And he looked at my ex-husband at the time. He was my husband. He said, "Does she always talk for you? Is she the boss?" And it was icky. It was icky. I didn't really know what to say, but that wasn't a telephone call. Hi, Sherry. Good to see you, honey. We're using this Rethink card deck. And the question is, do you ever have to rehearse what you're going to say when you're making certain phone calls? So, Suzanne, you do when you're having difficult family members. Yeah. You want to make sure you don't say something that's going to come back. Yeah, I understand. I understand totally. Flowing, I like to talk from my heart. Yes, that's good. That's very good. Well, I think I do too. But this, I don't know. I think in a more business or working with somebody that you're not comfortable with is something that I have to sit there. Okay, I'm going to make sure. Sometimes I'll even write down the points I want to make because I'm afraid I'll forget. So, Donna, when you make business calls, yeah, you really have to be in that frame of mind. It's interesting that you say that, because I used to also be a mortgage loan officer, and I had to call people and tell them they had to give me more paperwork, which this is what they do. I start out, I'm really sorry to ask you for this, but could you please send this and this and this? And everybody's like, what are you talking about? I don't want to send that. And I'd say, well, it's gotten so that they're not asking for your bra size just you have to be very careful. But a lot of times also you'll call them and rehearse it and tell them, and they seem to take it okay. And then you get a call back from them and they're really upset. So I'm thinking if I was on the other side and I did that, I'd have to rehearse what I wanted to say, because maybe it was a shock to me. Maybe it was something I didn't think was coming. So that might help. Yeah, MK Karen, you have to use tact. Absolutely. Yeah. Sherry, you tend to talk it out before an important call. I know what you mean. I don't want to sound stupid either, Yeah. Wow. Uh-huh. When someone comes at you, preparation is sometimes necessary. Absolutely. And here she is.
Hey.
Hey. Nice to see you, Katie. Nice to see you.
Nice to
I'm
see
gonna
you too.
spread us out a little bit here. All right.
Thank you.
Sure. Hi, Dozen Cats. It's good to see you. I got the Rethink conversation starters, and I asked the question. The first question I asked the chat was, before you make a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say? I think sometimes we all do, don't you? Like, if it depends on the call. Like, I have to call somebody and tell them something negative or whatever. You're like, oh, how do I do this the most tactful way?
Yep.
So, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is true, too. You worked in social services, and sometimes the clients don't have a full understanding. Absolutely. I mean,
Right.
when you were a nurse, didn't you also have people say, what's going on? And, you have to be careful what you say. Yeah. And I mean, I know that's not on the phone, but yeah.
Yeah.
How are you, Katie? It's good to see you. I'm glad you could come play with me today.
Hi, Kaya Noel. Yeah. Nice to see you.
Yeah. Kathleen.
Kathleen.
I love it because you were so spontaneous. I thank you so much for coming. I just thought it'd be fun.
I had to. I've been. We have baby goats.
I know.
And it got really cold.
Uh-huh.
And we had a twins born this week. They're.
Oh, you did? Oh.
Yeah. It was like Monday.
Okay.
So they are so cute.
I bet they are. Oh my God. Have they already started jumping? Did they already start? Really?
Boing, boing, boing. Yes.
Oh my God. I had no idea they did that already.
I mean, in this set of twins, hours after birth, they were doing the bounce. I mean, they the one crawled up to the mama's milk bag and started, and the other one was being born. So these are two very aggressive, very with it babies.
Oh. I love watching them. I fell down a rabbit hole yesterday because I was watching a little tiny monkey, and he had a sweater on, and he was eating grapes, and it was so sweet. And so then you look at the next one, and it's, cat patting a parrot or something. I don't know. I fell in that rabbit hole and I couldn't get out, but they had baby goats, and the goats were landing on the dog's back.
Uh-huh.
And do they do that really all the time?
Yeah.
They jump up on the back of the dog? Oh my God.
Yeah, we have a Great Pyrenees.
Okay.
And so you say dog because you're technically correct.
Right.
But small horse would also kind of be,
Absolutely. Yeah.
And she was standing here was the deck. Here was
so there was a good
she was here in the middle between two obstacles, and they just spring, and they used her as a springboard.
Yes, springboard. And she doesn't mind the doesn't. No, okay.
No, she's real.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Pyrenees are very laid back.
Well, I think that must be what this dog was, because it was a big white dog with a big white. Yeah. Okay. So it was a Pyrenees. Yeah. Wow. That's so cute. Anyway, Kaya Noel says, how's your daughter doing, Kathleen?
She is doing better. I had a call with Kaya Noel. She had won a reading,
Oh,
and
okay.
my daughter had had her tooth pulled that day,
Hmm.
and um, she had been asleep, and so we got through the reading. I was at the end of it, and she opens my office door, and her face is, I mean, totally gray. You can, her lips
Oh,
were,
no.
and she said, "Mama, I don't feel good." And so I said, "I gotta go,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I helped her to the floor and everything, but she has vasovagal syncope, which
Okay.
is she passes out, and it's a vasovagal response.
Okay.
And one of her triggers for that is her own blood. And
Oh, and
she
she
was
saw
trying
it.
to,
Yeah.
she was
Oh,
trying, but it was, it just amazes you the power of a vasovagal response,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
all the
Hmm.
blood, you could,
Drained out of her face, her head.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can visually see it.
I have a friend, he must have something like that, but it happens when he laughs, if he laughs too much, and then he
Hmm.
passes out. Yeah. And
Hmm.
he didn't know he had it. It's fairly recent, but I was with him once when he did that. And so I saw it. He was having a great time and then he fell on the ground.
Yep.
So, yeah. I know how hard it is with dizziness when I get up to walk because I'm like, so I can't
Hmm.
imagine what that feels like. That's really difficult. All right, Kelly. So yes, you're encouraged not to prepare or rehearse what you're going to say on the phone. Well, I agree with that. Yeah, I do. Some people need to, and some people don't. Hi, Purple Elephant. It's good to see you. I want to make sure I'm saying hi to everybody. Thank you. Let's see. Katie, are you going to make a video on your baby goats? You should.
Yeah, I should
You
do that.
should. Yeah,
I
good.
wish the weather
That's
would
we
cooperate and it was
cooperate.
pretty.
Yeah. Uh huh. Uh huh. Oh, this is a great one. Too many politics lead you to funny animals. Yeah, absolutely. I'd rather see the ridiculousness of animals having fun than the politicians.
Yeah, I would too.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, let me ask one more question. And then if you want to pull some cards, we can. It's up to you.
Sure.
All right. Tell a story of a time you helped a friend who was in need of support. And you don't have to mention who the friend was, of course. Oh, let's see. Was there a time when a friend was in need of support? Hmm. I think for me, it's about taking charge under circumstances that somebody else may not be able to fully be able to handle.
Right.
And I think even though it wasn't a friend, it was my father. Um, when my mom passed, I had to call everybody and I had to set up everything because he was just he was in a pool of mess. And I don't blame him. But you kind of rise to the occasion and you just
Right.
take over and you do what needs to be done and then you fall apart later. Any thoughts come to you, Katie?
Well, I mean, I was thinking about a friend of mine had a hysterectomy, and so I went
Mm-hmm.
down to Florida to help her out.
Oh,
And
wow.
then after I got back, um, she was healing well and everything, but her
Mhm.
mother died. I mean, just a few months.
When it rains, it pours. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And so the I pulled these cards, and I really think that's this kind of these two cards kind of tell a story. Um,
Okay.
it's shapeshifter,
Ah.
transform and unveil your gifts
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
by being malleable. And in that time, all I did for her was I became whatever she needed until she could
So she could
connect.
retain. Oh my
Yes, she
God.
she could
Yes.
connect with her emotions.
Okay.
and work through that, because the hysterectomy was a very emotional deal,
Sure it was. Yep.
and then her mother dying was a very emotional thing. So I mean, these two cards I think
Yep.
are
They are.
spot
That's
on.
perfect. Yes. I mean, and that I love that you, I don't know. It was almost like you were not a crutch, because that sounds negative, but you
Hmm.
were wind beneath her wings.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
a brace.
that's a good. That's a good way.
Just. I didn't. I wasn't a permanent part of her
No,
life,
I understand.
but
Right.
I was. Well, I mean, I've been there since, we were friends in middle school or high school, and but the thing was I transformed and became whatever she needed at
Right.
that moment.
At that moment, that's where the shapeshifter card comes in so strong.
Hmm.
Yeah. Wow. Don't you think also as women we do that? And of course you've got the nursing
Yeah,
background, so you're already a
yeah,
caregiver. But yeah, we do. We have that nurturing aspect that if somebody needs us, we kind of, just jump in and
yeah,
take over the
and we
role for
just,
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
just, I mean, and we know when we do that, we're just jumping in until they
Temporarily. Yeah.
can come up,
Right.
and that's what we need to do for each other.
True.
I mean,
That's true.
when
Yeah.
you sense someone is having a bad day, or you just maybe their language, their body language, something tells you they're having a bad day,
Uh-huh.
try to get them to open up,
Yeah.
because of the fact,
Yep.
that's the only way to get emotions out of here
Right.
and into
And
the
into the
space to
world.
look at them,
Right.
to
Right.
look at them.
Yep. And that's, part of that is our shadow that doesn't want to look at him. I mean, not in
Yeah,
your friend's case because she had loss, both kinds of
right.
loss. But yeah, the shadow follows us, and we're uncomfortable with it. So we kind of
Mm-hmm.
distract ourselves. And yeah, nobody wants to move into pain either. So yeah, that's
Exactly.
that's really good. Suzanne says, when her dad passed, I handled all the paperwork on his. Yeah, I did too. There are some people that just can move right in and get all the paperwork that needs to be done and call all, this and that and get this set up. And other people are like, oh my God, I don't know where to start, So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
and you are a Libra, so
right.
it would make sense for you to start with paperwork.
With a Capricorn rising, which it really
Yeah, but I am a Cancer, so my immediate response is,
absolutely
okay, is
emotional.
everybody all right?
Yeah, yeah,
Can I help you?
yeah,
So
yep,
that's the deal. You
yeah.
have your strengths, I have
We have
mine,
ours. Yeah,
and
I know.
when we huddle together,
Hmm.
we can withstand a
That's right.
whole lot more.
We can. Absolutely. Absolutely. Kelly, you're so sweet. Thank you, dear. You've also been there for us. So, um, you know, the hardest thing I think for anybody uh, is to butt in if somebody doesn't want the help. Let's say, you don't want
Right.
to butt in,
Mhm.
but reaching out across, with your hands and needing some support and love. And you do the same thing, and you're continuing to do the same thing, Kelly, on your channel.
Yeah.
You're there bringing your piece of wisdom from
And
your
I'm
own
so
journey.
proud of
I
how
know.
much you're reading and everything. You
No.
just blossomed. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm
She
just
did. She
kudos,
did.
kudos.
I know it. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody. You guys are sweet. The challenge is not to take on the other issues to the point that it affects you. There's a thin line and requires boundaries and empathy. Very true. You
Hmm.
can't, there are some things that you don't want to take on and some things that you shouldn't take on.
Right.
And yeah, you do it. And it can be a balancing act. And so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
Wow.
mean, life is a balancing
Life is a
act.
balancing act. Yeah. Especially when you're empaths. Yeah. Thank you, Kel. We love you too.
Oh, we do love you, Kelly.
Yeah. So the other thing I was thinking about talking about, and I didn't know where I was going with it, but it keeps coming up. So maybe I need to see what everybody thinks about it. You lost a friend trying to make her feel better.
Mm.
Oh, hi, Ron. It's
Well,
good to see you. I'm sorry to hear that. Um,
well, I
some
mean,
people are very, yeah.
yeah, and well, and
Oh, but you felt
you
like
had
you would,
to,
all right, you had to leave.
yeah, yeah, I had to
Hmm.
learn it was her journey and not mine. If
Hmm.
if they don't want support, if they don't want
Yeah.
physical, they don't want you there,
Yeah.
then all you can do is
Yeah.
send them your loving thoughts.
That's
Send
all.
them
Yeah.
your because you're not you haven't broken any contract like trying to read on them or whatever. You're
Right, right,
just
right. Yeah.
sending well wishes.
Yeah. And that's why the mediums, when they talk and you ask about other people, and what they think or whatever. It's unless they're past, of course, if they've passed.
Hmm.
But we can't interfere with someone else's karma,
Right.
and um, sometimes that's very frustrating. But there are
Yeah.
people. What is it? There are people that are. Well, the Girl Scouts used to say one is silver and the other's gold. Make new friends, but keep the old. But the
Hmm.
other thing is that there are friends for a lifetime and friends for what is it? There's another word like friends that come into your life and then leave your life, but that was all that you needed to have or something like that. So
Hmm.
yeah. And you
Yeah.
don't need a whole bunch of friends
Well,
if if you've got
the
some
thing
good
is,
ones. Yeah.
if you are wanting information about a friend, and
Uh-huh.
it's they're going through something, it's just driving you crazy,
Hmm.
you can ask, how can I help them? What do I need to do to help them?
Uh-huh.
You can
Right.
ask that, but
Uh-huh.
asking what is my friend doing right now, or
Right,
anything,
right. Yeah.
it just
It's invasive. Yeah, it's
hmm
definitely invasive. So what I wanted to ask or talk about, what that wasn't even that, is talismans.
oh,
And recently I saw something that you said. It was in response, I think, to Andrea's work with shamans, or you have felt a calling more
for
toward
shamanism.
shaman.
Hmm.
Yeah. How did that manifest? And would you? The reason I ask is it's Andrea's um, Galvin's birthday.
Oh,
I think
cool.
Saturday. I think
Uh-huh.
Saturday. And
Uh-huh.
so I sent her, she's the wolf medicine. If you,
Hmm.
I'm not the wolf, the bear. So sorry.
Hmm.
She's the bear medicine. And if you watched any of her stuff on shamanism, she talks about bear and how bear works and all that stuff.
Hmm.
So I went on Etsy and I found a lapis lazuli bear, little
Oh,
bear. So I
yeah.
sent it to her already because it just got there early. And it's a talisman, really, if you think about it,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Um, what are your thoughts about that and about your recent dipping your toes into shamanism?
Dipping my toes into shamanism.
Yeah.
Well, I think it has really opened me up in
Really?
so many ways. Um, I watched Alberto Villoldo. I cannot say his name, but he has written up many books and everything about shamanism,
Hmm.
and he's in, I think he's in Peru,
Okay.
but I was watching this video, and it was, I have several, I mean, I have never considered myself anywhere near shamanism because I had a block that I am a what, a 16th uh Choctaw and an
Oh,
8th Cherokee. So it's like
yeah, you
eh,
got it there, girl, in your
yeah,
in your veins. Yeah, yeah.
but I am only a 16th,
I
and
know.
and so I didn't think I had enough quantity.
Yeah,
And
I know.
I'm not native enough to
I
do
know.
this.
No, and I
And
agree. And
it
yeah, it does seem to stick because they used to say, if you're not native, you shouldn't be talking about it or something like
right,
that. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
so, I just had that But when I was 5 years old, I got the bobcat. Um,
Oh.
this 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 story was, my grandmother was a she raised two kids through the depression with her husband having left her. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so,
Mm-hmm.
and her only way to do this was, she couldn't drive a car, she didn't have any skills except housework,
Mm-hmm.
but she could heal animals and people. She
Wow.
was an herbalist, but animals
Okay.
were her specialty.
Okay.
And she found a baby bobcat, or a young bobcat, that was hurt and nursed it back to life. And then it would come back to her
Oh,
house and
wow.
have babies. Okay. So it was up on her water cooler, which was even with the about the roof of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And those huge water coolers that were stuck in the window. She would climb
Uh-huh.
up a little tree and then get on top of the water cooler and have her babies there. And
Wow.
this was near the front of the house. I was and by the front porch. I was making mud pies, and Granny was back in the back garden hoeing. So
Right.
she was there. I could scream for her, but she was well out of any hurried reach. Okay.
Right. Right.
I heard a growl behind me, and it was the two dogs that had killed um, they killed multiple animals
Oh.
already, and people all in our little rural community were hunting for them.
Uh-huh.
And so I turn around, and I'm facing two, open mouths, growling, hackles raised, and I couldn't even scream.
Sure.
And I looked up, and I'm here. This bobcat is flying through the air, and the sun is above her.
Oh
And
my
it just looks like she's glowing, with the sun shining through her
God.
fur.
Yeah.
She landed in the middle of those two dogs, and
Uh-huh.
just and they ran off. Well, then she turned around to me, and I thought, okay, I was gonna die by dog, now I'm gonna die by cat. You know.
All I was doing was making mud pies.
Yeah, I just want to go back. Just want to go back. Well, I slide down the side of the porch, just kind of my bones just melted,
Uh-huh.
and she she sat down and she rubbed her whiskers on my foot, and then she went and cleaned the blood and fur off of her claws. And by this time, I hear Granny hollering, "What? What's happening? What's happening?" And
Yeah.
she just jumps from the ground to the top of the porch, climbs up the roof, and then down back to her babies. I know that she was territorial
Yeah.
because she had babies,
Had
and
those
so she
babies.
was protecting the babies,
Sure.
but she
Yeah.
protected me too. So that's how I got,
Sure.
you know, and my grandmother told me, she said, she's your spirit animal.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely. Wow.
so that either a physical manifestation, or I identify with the butterfly,
Okay.
because of um, a, having a chrysalis and emerging,
Mhm. Mhm.
and so that was a thought up construct, but it's still my spirit animal.
Right.
And when I went to Alberto Villoldo's um, site, his channel, and was
Yep.
listening to actual drumming, the really
Mhm.
sound, and
Mhm.
asking for animal medicine,
Right.
when I turned around asking for medicine, when I saw that snake, you could have knocked me over with a feather, because of all
Yeah.
the animals in the world. A snake was like the last thing, because I associate snakes with um, ER bills and vet bills,
Right.
and
Right.
just
Right.
it's just
Poison. Yeah.
yeah, poison.
Yeah.
And what it was the snake. I recoiled, and then it started kind of like morphing. you know.
Oh,
And I thought, oh God, I hope my initial reaction, I said, I'm sorry, I will accept any medicine, I
right.
need, I am.
Yeah.
And, but the snake in my mind's eye morphed to where that it was a winged snake. It had beautiful
Oh,
colors
right.
and feathers coming out, and then it morphed back to a snake. And so I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
study
Think about
more
Yeah.
on that. But the snake medicine is shedding your skin
Yes,
completely.
it is. Yep. Rebirth. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm. Wow.
So I mean, but I
And we can
had
have
in
more than one. I mean, we can have more
yeah,
than one spirit animal. True. Yeah.
yeah, but I
Uh-huh.
had in my mind that the puma,
Sure.
blah blah blah, all this kind of
I
stuff.
know.
And so when I turned around, he followed his deal and turned around to greet the animal that I needed the medicine from.
Yeah.
I was stunned.
Wow. Absolutely. Wow. I remember going on a vision quest with some folks back in the 90s. And, it wasn't overnight or in the desert or anything, but we were all out in nature and we all went our different ways. And we were supposed to make contact with our spirit animal and then come back and tell the group what name we were given. Because, the native
Oh,
names. And I've always had an affinity for deer. And when I was a little girl, my parents would always take me up to the place to feed the deer and all that stuff. And I got like running deer, and that
hmm,
it just felt like it was right. And they're so
right.
beautiful and gentle and sweet. And now I have them on my property. They come by and eat the leaves, and then as they walk across the street, so it's kind of fun. But
Right.
this is a great question that Marg wants to ask. So, are you not supposed to study it if you're not Native American? You know
Well, I
what?
mean,
It used to be that. Not that you couldn't
yeah.
study it, right?
Yeah,
Not, but
if you're if you're
yeah,
as old as me, you have, and I live in Oklahoma. So
yeah,
there's a whole
a
lot
lot
more
of
of a
natives.
prejudice.
Yeah,
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 whole lot
yeah.
more of prejudice against that. And but now there's not. It's
As
more
much,
of this is a lifestyle and
right?
not necessarily a cultural, because shamanism comes from American Indian or
Mhm.
American Native.
Yep.
uh, it all indigenous people of all around the globe
Hmm.
are have shamanism.
Have it. Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
it's not
It's
it's
not
not
as
like you're
forbidden as it
taking.
used to be. And
Yeah.
and I think maybe it's even just holding yourself out as a shaman, for instance, and like maybe going and making money off of it and all that junk. I
Mm,
think that might
yeah.
still be sort of discouraged,
Yeah.
because most people want to have the real deal.
Yeah.
But there's no way that you couldn't do it, Margaret. I mean, it's just so fascinating. It's the same
Yeah.
way I feel about Buddhism. I mean, I don't have to be Japanese or whatever to want to be a Buddhist or to learn their
Mhm.
principles. So let's get back to talismans. Do you have any talismans? Do you have a medicine bag or
Yes.
anything like that? You do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, this.
Okay.
See?
Yep. Yeah, it's
Yeah. There.
beautiful. Yeah.
Um. It is well, first of all, it's amber, and
Uh-huh.
amber is the only stone that's still hardening,
Yeah.
because it used to be tree sap. It used to be liquid,
Uh-huh.
and it's like something like 60 million, 80 million years old. I mean, it's
Yeah, I know.
unbelievably old.
I know. Yeah.
And the the and it's in a circle with the,
Right.
the cardinal directions laid out.
Uh-huh. Right.
So for
Very much
me,
Native American. Yes.
hmm,
Yes.
hmm,
Yeah, that was, I mean, I had no affinity toward it until I met this woman who was, I guess, a shaman. She was certainly my Native American teacher, although she was a Zapotec from South America, which is fine. Like you say, they're everywhere. She taught me so much in such a short period of time. And
hmm,
I was just, I can't turn myself away from it because it's so fabulous. It's
I
wonderful.
know. I
Yeah.
know. And
Oh, and that
this,
one is okay.
yeah, um this is the shape of my shields.
Okay. Okay. With with the pyramid going both ways. So
Mhm.
the energy is definitely rising and falling. Yeah. What is on the
Mhm.
top that's blue?
This is rainbow fluorite.
A
It's
rainbow fluorite.
green,
Okay.
it's
Mhm.
green, it's purple, it's blue, it's
Yep. Yep.
so
Gorgeous. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I've had this baby for a while. I don't carry it around because it's so heavy. You know, like some people wear things as a necklace. Obviously, it's too big, but it's a piece of amethyst that I got many, many moons ago.
Mhm.
And I just, even the point is a little chipped, but I don't care because it just makes me feel so good. So, yes, stones are my talisman many, many
Mhm.
times. My mother's was a mustard seed in a necklace when she was alive. She
Really?
always wore the mustard seed. That because what is it in the Bible? Those
Well,
who believe in the mustard seed. Yeah.
with the whenever anybody's doing like the witchy theater and they say eye of newt, that's a mustard seed.
Oh, it is. Oh, that's good to know because it didn't they say that on the Adams Family?
Yeah,
I
eye of
knew.
newt
Oh my
is a
God.
mustard seed. Yeah.
Wow, that is so funny. The other day, I was looking at Instagram, and there was a picture of this Shih Tzu that had the real long hair. You couldn't even see its eyes, and I said, "Looks like Cousin It." Only a certain
Yeah.
amount of people would know what that even was. Oh, Pamela Bennett lives in Oklahoma too. She says,
Oh, really?
"Wonderful, yeah."
Cool.
So maybe it would, Barbara. Um, you know, when Andrea Galvin and I did her broadcasts on my show that talked all about shamanism, she was very open about different ways that you can access it and so on. So you might check if you haven't
Yeah.
seen it. Um, but she gets downloads all the time, and then we come out and talk about it. So yeah, I would
Mhm.
think that. Anything that may have resulting karma from ancestors, you know,
Right.
I feel the same way you do. When I teach classes in humanities, I seem to always apologize for being white. I know that sounds oddly strange, but it's like, I didn't do it, and I know I didn't do it, but
Right.
you know, I
But at the
always
same
feel
time, you feel such
a
shame that they did.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
So I understand. Yeah.
but with any with ancestral trauma,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Ancestral trauma is ancestral trauma until you break it.
Until you can get rid of
And
it.
then and then, you know, it's no longer in your family. You are no longer passing it down.
Right. You can choose to disseminate it or work with
Mhm.
it and get rid of it. Yeah. Would that be part that isn't part of the soul retrieval though, is it? That isn't what you're talking about. You're talking totally separate ancestral
Yeah,
trauma. Okay.
well, there and there is some of it, some of what ancestral trauma is some people, there's another word for it when it's on the soul path, and I can't think of it right now.
Okay. That's fine.
But
Yep.
true ancestral trauma, it's just like my father and his father and his father and his father and
Yeah.
so on
Uh-huh.
were alcoholics.
Oh, I see. Well, isn't that also in the can be in the DNA?
Hmm.
Yeah, I know.
And and fighting, anger,
Anger.
all these kinds of things were passed down
Hmm.
because,
Because of
but I
ancestral trauma.
stopped it,
Okay.
you know,
I get you.
and
Yep. Yep. I kind of had that actually. Now that you mention it, I kind of had that with my mother's mother died when she was 5, so there was no understanding of what her mother was even like. But her mother had
Mhm.
13 kids, and basically was a
No wonder she died
vessel.
when.
I know. And she died with the last, well, actually, I think she had finally found out, I think she died of a gallbladder bursting, and she was pregnant at the same time. This would have been in
Oh,
1925. So we're talking about
right.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
But my mother always had that affinity for nervous and worried about everything, and all that shit. And and she wouldn't drive a car. She was afraid. My mother
Mhm.
had a lot of fear. She had a lot of fear.
Mhm.
And if your mother died at 5, I guess you would.
Mhm.
And you're living in this situation where there's not enough to eat and you don't have a lot of clothes. So yeah, I
Yeah.
can understand that. Yep.
Yeah.
But so yes, there's a genetic relationship to indigenous medicine and energetic relationship. Maybe. But
Mhm.
if you're pulled toward it and you feel an affinity toward it, you don't have to, I don't know what the word is, but you don't have to become it in
Right. I
order
mean,
to understand it and use it. Yeah.
yeah, you can explore it and find out, because there are so many cultures and so
Uh-huh.
many different ways to do it. You can explore all of them and see what clicks for you.
That's
See
right.
what resonates with
Yeah.
you.
And you'll also see how it aligns with other things in
Mhm.
other traditions. And you'll say, oh, it's almost like the same thing. I'm not a religious person, but it would be the same thing if you went to a Christian church and then you went to a Hindu temple and you saw
Right.
what they did. And it has its
It'd be like
similarities.
its own humanities class.
It would. I went there actually. It was funny because we went and the Hindu priest helped us out and told us about things and the praying and all that. And then you know who Ganesha is with the elephant? He's the elephant god in the Hindu religion. And he
Mhm.
in the temple, you walk around a circle and you ding the bell right near Ganesha, and it brings you good joy and luck and all that. So my friend and I are walking around it, dinging the bell, having a great old time. And some of the other ladies who are very, very stoic, why are you doing that? This isn't your religion. And I thought, oh boy, I said, I'm
Mhm.
having a great time learning about this. I
Mhm.
wasn't going to turn into a Hindu, but you know, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
was.
and that's so many times you people forget that the most, I mean, in the Bible it says it, in
Yeah.
everything it
Hmm.
says the heart of a child,
Right. Yep.
is come to me with the heart of a child,
Hmm.
and ringing the bell and being joyous.
Yeah. Living in the
You will,
moment. Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. So Marsha Green also lives in Oklahoma. Well, what do you know? We got 3 Okies here. What do you know about that? That's really cool. Um, is there any relation between old world mystical practices? You know what, Valerie? I
Hmm.
would say that Celtic tradition
Mhm.
has some similarities here
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I
they
mean it's and think about it, in was it Denmark, and I know in
uh-huh,
France,
right,
they have caves with shamanic type, the bears and the everything
yeah,
being, it's symbolism for, you can tell this is shamanistic type
yeah,
um messaging.
right,
And that was found in Denmark and in France. Well, usually when
yeah,
you think of
it's, right.
those are not the
North and South
the
America is where you would, yeah,
yeah,
where you think
yeah.
about it more. Yeah, there was a wonderful movie that I watched. It was a documentary on a cave they found in France,
Hmm.
and they wouldn't let people go in except for because they our breathing and the oxygen could make a mess of these beautiful cave drawings that were inside. So they only let them go in like 3 hours a week or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it was fascinating. And there were pictures of wild animals drawn, all these different things that was carbon dated 25,000 years ago. And here we are looking
Wow.
at this. And it was like
Wow.
pictographs, just like the Native Americans do, but it was
Yeah.
somewhere in France. some cave in France. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything really is connected. You can
Mm-hmm.
see it. And they say that the myths that I teach, like in my mythology class in humanities, I ask them to find a myth of the creation myth. That's what it is. I ask them to find the creation myth in other places.
Mm-hmm.
And there are probably 50 of them. And
Mm-hmm.
they're all pretty much the same, but explained in the language that they understood at the time.
Yeah.
So, for instance, there was one where this egg burst open and then everybody came out of the egg or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fascinating to see that there are so many out
Well,
there.
one of the things that I'm just going down the rabbit hole, so
I
come on
understand.
with me. Come on with me. But the in the I think it was Mayan
Uh-huh.
temple. There was this picture, and it looks like a man in a spacesuit, and there's like a flying
Yes.
saucer. Is it
Yes.
Mayan? I think.
I
But I
think so.
remember that. I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah. There was a
And
space man. Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, I have to know. But I got to figure out where it is so I can ask about it.
Ask about it. I know. I've seen them, and then other people poo-poo it and say, "Oh, that was drawn in," and all that, because people do that kind of thing. But no, I've seen it. It's the same thing
Uh-huh.
with aerial things
Yeah,
that were,
the
yeah,
things on the ground
yeah,
that
that you can only
mhm.
really see from up here, up in like in a
Well,
helicopter or something. Yeah,
okay. What about the crystal skulls? I mean, those,
I know.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, I know.
I mean, and crystal, I mean, inside a computer,
I know.
that's
That's why you
all.
never keep your, by the way, never keep your crystals right by your computer, because my
Oh.
brother did that and it wiped his computer clean,
Oh.
especially
Yeah,
big ones. But yeah,
I better not do that,
no, I have a couple, but like I have a little citrine here and I have a little lapis here, but not a crystal, not
Mhm.
quartz. Yeah.
Quartz.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
found out the hard way. You wouldn't think that would happen, but yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
it did.
I don't know. Yeah. No, the rabbit
Yeah.
hole is wonderful. Yeah. So anybody else here have a talisman that you carry or that you like to have? That's what we started this conversation out about, was
Yeah,
talismans.
and
Yeah.
I have this. It's
Ooh.
just it's tourmalinated quartz.
Uh-huh.
So that's black tourmaline that you see
Yes. That
going in
stuff's
stripes.
expensive to actually mine. Yeah. But it's very,
And
I love the light and dark together. The
mhm,
grounding and the, yeah.
yeah, and I there's something about, I don't know if it's the shape
Uh-huh.
or what, but it's whenever I'm reading, or especially when I'm trying to tap into a mediumship read, it's
Right.
like I have to.
Have to
It's
have that.
almost, yeah, yeah.
Hmm. Wow. So I know it doesn't necessarily do this, but it's almost as though what your belief in it gives it power. And of course, the elements that are contained within it also
Hmm.
assist with
Well,
that.
I
So
mean, quartz is an amplifier.
absolutely. But some people say they don't get anything out of stones. They're cold. They don't get anything. And I say it doesn't matter. They work for you anyway.
Hmm.
So, but the best, it's always good to clean them and clear them if somebody else has had them. So, all right. So Juno says she saw the spaceman carved on a wooden door at the UFO museum. Yeah. But this was old. What she's talking about is old.
Yeah,
But
it's
Blowing
in.
saw it on an ancient alien show. Okay. All right. And crop circles, absolutely. And pyramids around the world. Mm-hmm. Oh, now see, you've got the balance here. A Herkimer diamond and a Moldavite. That
Mm,
stuff makes you fly away. The Moldavite does.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this is carnelian,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I wear it constantly
Good.
because um I I don't know. It's just, it's like, of course, and I wear black tourmaline, but
Mm-hmm.
um it it's like it gives me the fortitude to
Mhm.
go out
Mhm.
into um into a situation to where that I'm going to be bombarded, you
Sure.
know.
Yeah, it's a protective shield in a way.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
yes, I'm just sitting here thinking about this. What I decided to wear today was a labradorite and a moonstone.
Oh, I
And
love
so I
moonstone.
got the light in the dark as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
But
really funny. Yeah.
I love moonstone.
Ooh, isn't it pretty? It really is. Valerie carries a rock that was your mom's. That's wonderful. There's something about that connection that is so wonderful. Yeah.
Mhm.
All right. Crystals in our ears, Barbara? Crystals in our ears? Oh, I see, Juno. It was a replica of that original one. Okay. Thank you. All right. Um, I have a lot of different talismans, and some of them are cards, and some of them are this poor guy. He's got a dress on. Actually, this is Mr. Wow Wow, so I was ahead of time because I have a dress on him. But he's
Oh.
very, very old and was put in my crib when I was a baby, and he's gone
Oh,
everywhere with me. But the poor
wow.
thing is it's like that Velveteen Rabbit, you know.
Mhm.
But he's been with me, well, my whole life, but he's
Yeah.
poor guy's falling apart, so I just let him sit. But very old stuffed animal that I love, Mr. Wow Wow in a dress.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of of anything else that if I what when I don't necessarily have, I mean, this ring I think of as a talisman
Uh-huh.
just because its
Yeah,
meaning is
it has a lot of
symbolic.
meaning for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I've been trying to think of all the things that whenever um I am reaching for something, searching for something, I
Uh-huh.
will like this. I will grab and I don't think about it. I'm
I know.
not, you know.
It's automatic. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's one of your power
So,
tools.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So Marcia carries a black seed from some type of tree that grows in Oklahoma, but she can't remember the name of it. Hmm. A black seed. Is it big, Marcia? Or is it like, I mean, it's not real tiny,
Is
tiny, right?
is it a what do they call those? Is it a bullseye? I don't know what they call it, but it's a round, hard thing
Yeah.
that it.
Hmm. Oh, I know what you're talking about when you're saying a bullseye. I remember that. Yeah. It's
Mhm.
it's it's a seed, but it's not an acorn, but it's big, like it's
Mhm.
bigger
It's like a
like
big
that.
acorn.
It's
Yeah,
like a
a
bigger
big
acorn.
hard,
Yeah. Okay.
big hard.
That makes sense. All right. You have crystals in your. Oh, we do. Oh, Epley maneuver. Okay, I'm going to check it out.
Huh.
Wow. Very good. Oh. Um, I also love to sea glass. I love to collect some sea glass. I get that. Yeah. Wow. I know. I got a troll. I got the stripper people. So Ron taught me everything I know about getting trolls.
And she said Buckeye. Janet P says Buckeyes.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
buckeye. Okay. Is
Well,
that
I
the
thought
name of your
Buckeyes
state?
were the candy.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I remember those. Sherry has a black shungite stone back in high school. Wow. That's awesome. I've moved so many times, guys, that I've given up so many things in my life that I have really
Right.
nothing left of my childhood except my little teddy bear that I've had
Yeah.
forever. Couldn't go anywhere without him, but yeah. Oh, a buckeye. I remember that. All right. It's not an acorn, it's round and hard. Okay. Oh, Lena, hmm. Well, we're not doctors, you know that. Even
Mhm.
though Kathleen is a nurse, she doesn't like to give medical stuff, I'm sure. But
Mhm.
uh, Has anything changed in the way he's doing anything? Is there stress? Doesn't epilepsy also happen sometimes with flashing lights? I believe
Mm-hmm.
this like
It
flashing light.
does.
It
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes they can have chemical imbalances that cause it, but
Okay.
sometimes it's they're sensitive to the flashing lights, and
Right.
then for whatever reason their sensitivity goes up, and so things
Oh,
that
trigger. Yeah.
that trigger them become stronger. So
Hmm.
um, I I think that
Probably need to go and have him checked out,
mhm.
medication and stuff.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I yeah.
I think that it would be it would be very good to have take him to the doctor and have him do his blood test, because sometimes the medication may be too low or too high.
Yep.
So,
Yep. That's true. My daughter, it's funny. My daughter had it from age 8 to about age 12, and then it went away. So I don't know why that was, but Michelle Mabel, Carrie Amethyst, Tiger Eye is so much fun. I love that. That's great. And of course, you saw my amethyst, so I love that too. So those are
yeah,
your talismans. Yeah.
yeah, a jelly bean. Buckeyes, the plant, are poisonous, but I was talking about those things that you make with peanut butter, chocolate, and
Yeah, yeah.
there's something else.
Is
Yeah,
it
those
raisins or something? I don't know.
I don't remember, but I just
Okay.
remember it was one of those things for Christmas.
Sure.
Everybody always makes candy at
Always made
Christmas,
them.
and that's it.
Yep.
Nobody
I
makes
do.
candy after that.
I do. Wow. So let's see. Kaya wears shungite, carnelian, and honey topaz. Beautiful. That's
Mm,
great. Everybody has that's what's so much fun, because everybody has a different affinity for different stones.
hmm
Uh, okay, Lena. Well, we send lots of love and healing to your son in hopes that they can find out why he had these seizures, and we want to surround him with love and white light. Yeah. Yeah. Flowing says, see a neurologist. Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Oh yeah, Sherry
Yep.
H. I got.
You got some
Let's see.
pendulums? Ah, what is it? Is it
It's an
black or is
am.
it purple?
It's
Amethyst.
purple. It's
Okay.
amethyst. And what I did was I put a quartz bead at the
Okay.
top.
Okay. To hold
And
on to it. All
yeah,
right.
you hold on to it like this. Let's see if I can. I'm not going to show you the bottom because that's not the point.
Sure.
Um, but
Just for you to see. I have one, but look how
can you
tiny.
see?
Yeah, yours is much nicer and bigger. Yeah.
Well, and well, I don't know if you. I don't think you can see it on camera, but I send Reiki down the chain, and it vibrates. And it's very
Oh,
in person. In person, it's very impressive.
I bet it is.
Grandkids are like, "How do you do that,
Really?
Nanny?"
So they're going to be talking about you in about 30 years. My grandmother used to do this. That's cool. Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, anything else we need to talk about? It's been about an hour. I don't usually go much more than that, but I did want to mention again that on my community board, I have up that I'm doing the dream class. This is the book we're going to use. It's Tuesdays in the month of March, and the information is there. If you're interested, that's fine.
That's cool.
And if the day doesn't work, then maybe another time I can do it again on a different different time frame. But
Hmm.
yeah, I just wanted everybody to know. So let's pull some cards for the energies of the day, that the messages that we need to
The
hear
energies
today,
of the
and then
day.
we'll say goodbye. Yeah,
Messages we need to hear.
message for today. Hmm, okay. I'm using the spirit messages from John Holland, and this is the first day that I've used them, and I like them. Hello, Kevin. We're going to see Kevin later on tonight on my medium show. He's our guest medium. So
Awesome.
All right, I pulled 2 cards from John Holland's, and it's got, look at, it's your butterfly, Kathleen.
Awesome.
And it says, this is the time to absorb the healing properties that nature has to offer. We're almost to spring. So your mind, body, and soul need nourishment, energy, revitalization, and strength, and nature has much to offer. So take this time to connect with some quality time outdoors, provided you're dressed warm enough anyway, right? And the other thing is, it's asking you to reach out. And I find this fascinating. The first part of this show, we talked about, do you prepare for a phone call, that sort of thing. But we also talked about the story of helping somebody else. And I think that I'm not suggesting that we don't let people do this, but I think more spiritual people tend to reach out. But when it's our time, we might not. In other words, we think, well, we should know better or whatever, but we need to also do the same thing. So this says, reach out for help in any current situation. Support is needed upon the physical act of accepting help where offered, as if it's about the emotional benefits and learning it's okay to accept support when it's presented to you. It's not weakness. Make sure you reach out. Look at this. Heart-centered love. I love that showed up today. Good.
And look at this. This is the 6 of Pentacles.
Okay.
Which the 6 of Pentacles is the give and take. You need to be a grateful giver as well as a grateful acceptor. To accept help, to accept love, to accept everything that life has to offer. And you have to give of yourself as well. And I got the autumn.
Oh my.
It's release the old and rest. You cannot work through a big major ordeal and then run to the next. Work through it. Release it. Accept it. And rest and recover your energy. Recover your emotional health.
Yeah.
So
perfect.
I thought those were pretty
very aligned
good.
with what we talked about earlier. Very aligned with
Yeah,
that.
2
My
different
cards
decks.
and your cards. Yeah. I love it when that happens, and it happens more often than not. And thank you, Kathleen. Thank you for being spontaneous and jumping on with me here today. I love you, girl. Thanks so much.
Oh, I love you too.
Oh, and thanks to all of you for staying with us. I love you. I thank you so much. You released last night with the full moon. Good for you, Chloe.
All right.
That's awesome. Awesome. That's wonderful.
Awesome.
Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. And I'll see you later today with the mediums. But I'm saying goodbye, and Kathleen saying goodbye for now. Bye, guys. Thank you.